For 3 weeks, the same delivery guy showed up at my door. Same neutral-colored uniform, same bike parked slightly to the left of the stairs. Same polite smile that never quite reached his eyes. At first, I told myself it was a coincidence. Cities are small, delivery routes overlap. But the night I checked my door camera and realized he was still standing outside long after every delivery, I understood something was wrong. Very wrong. I live alone in a small apartment on the 2nd floor of an old building. It's nothing special: beige walls, thin curtains that let in too much street light at night, and a hallway bulb that flickers unless you tap the switch twice. It's the kind of place you choose because it's cheap and quiet, not because you love it. The neighborhood is calm, almost boring. No loud parties, no shouting neighbors. Just distant traffic and the occasional dog barking somewhere down the street. I work long hours, mostly from home. By the time evening comes, my energy is gone. Some nights I'm too tired to cook. Some nights I just don't want to sit in silence with my thoughts. So I order food. Late dinners became my routine. And that's how I noticed him. The first time he came, I barely registered his face. He handed me the bag, stepped back politely, and nodded. "Evening," he said. That was it. The second time, he smiled slightly. The third time, he remembered my name. "Have a good night," he said, like we'd met before. By the end of the first week, he introduced himself. Chris, just one word, no last name, no small talk. At the time, it felt normal. Delivery people come and go. You don't memorize them, except he was the only one who ever came. Chris had a way of blending in. He wasn't overly friendly, wasn't awkward, wasn't pushy. He always stood a few steps back from the door, hands relaxed at his sides, eyes focused on me but not wandering past me into the apartment. He never rushed me, never complained, never lingered long enough to feel uncomfortable. He was the kind of person you trust without thinking, and that's what scared me later. Because every time I ordered, no matter the app, no matter the restaurant, no matter the time, Chris was the one who showed up. Different uniforms, different bags. Same face. After a while, I joked about it. "Do you live nearby or something?" I asked one night. He adjusted the strap of his delivery bag and smiled. "Something like that." I laughed, but he didn't. The silence lingered just a second too long before he said goodbye. That was the first time I felt it, that tiny shift in my stomach. By the second week, I started noticing details I couldn't ignore. He remembered my usual orders: no spicy food, extra napkins. He never checked his phone to confirm my name. One night, I answered the door exhausted, hair messy, eyes barely open. "Long night again," he said. I froze for half a second before nodding. Another night, as he handed me the bag, he said casually, "Roommate still out of town." The words hit me like ice water. I didn't have a roommate. I never had. I forced a laugh. "Yeah, still gone." Chris nodded slowly, like he was mentally confirming something. That night, I locked my door twice. The first real red flag happened on a Thursday. I ordered food later than usual, almost midnight. The app showed the driver moving, then stopping. Then the notification appeared, "Delivered." I waited, no knock, no footsteps, no bike sounds. I opened my door. The hallway was empty. I checked my phone again. Then it buzzed. A message from Chris. "I left it where you like it." Don't worry, my chest tightened. Where I like it, I stepped out carefully. The bag was tucked behind the small potted plant beside my door, the exact spot I usually cleared so delivery people wouldn't trip. That wasn't luck, that was observation. That was someone paying attention. Sleep didn't come that night. Around 2 a.m., I opened my door camera app. I told myself I was being paranoid, that watching the footage would calm me down. It didn't. Every clip followed the same pattern. Chris would arrive, place the food neatly, stepped back, and then he stayed. He didn't check his phone, didn't adjust his bag, didn't leave, he just stood there. Sometimes for 2 minutes, sometimes longer. Once, he leaned slightly toward the door, like he was listening. My hands started shaking so badly I had to put my phone down. The next evening, I ordered again, on purpose. When the knock came, I opened the door immediately. Chris looked surprised. "Why do you stay?" I asked. He blinked once, then smiled. "I like to make sure customers are safe." The words sounded rehearsed. I shook my head. "That's not your job." His smile didn't fade. "I understand." I told him not to deliver here again. "Not to come back." He nodded calmly. "I understand." He repeated. Too calm, too easy. 2 days passed, no orders, no knocks, no sign of him. I started to feel foolish. Maybe I'd imagined it. Maybe stress had filled in gaps that weren't really there. On the third night, there was a knock, not the quick tap of a delivery. A slow, deliberate knock. I checked my phone. No order. I looked through the peephole. It was Chris. No uniform. No delivery bag. No bike. Just him. "I forgot to give you something," he said softly. I didn't open the door. "What?" I asked. "Closure." His voice changed then. Lower, steadier. "My sister lived here before you." My breath caught. "She ordered food late too," he continued. "Worked long hours. Lived alone." My heart was pounding so loudly I was sure he could hear it. "She disappeared 2 years ago. No answers, no witnesses, no resolution." "But her phone data," he said quietly, "ended here." He told me he became a delivery driver to learn routines, to understand patterns, to see how easy it is, he said, for someone to become predictable. Then he said the sentence I will never forget. I needed to know if it could happen again. I called the police. They searched. They questioned neighbors. They reviewed footage. Chris was never found. Weeks later, I moved out. On my last night, I checked the door camera one final time. There he was, standing outside my door. No food, no knock, just watching. I don't know what Chris really wanted. I don't know if he was protecting someone or preparing for something far worse. All I know is this: some people don't knock to deliver food, they knock to steady you. If you want more real-life stories that feel uncomfortably real, stories that could happen to anyone, subscribe. Because the scariest stories aren't fiction. They're the ones hiding in plain sight.